My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Okay, today is March 21st, 2024. It is exactly 1 a.m. So this is my back end. Let's do this really quick, get it out the way. Look at the numbers. There they are here. 3,862 subscribers. New subscribers welcome. Last 48 hours. 2,624 views. Estimate revenue, $196.11. Okay, match with this. Match with that. So let's go on Twitter. A lot is going on. I should be editing whatever I recorded yesterday morning. I think it's 2 videos. And then later on, after I finish edit something, I hop on Twitter again, like around 8. And I saw there's breaking news. Harry had filed a lawsuit against, the Murdoch NGN. I quickly put a video out. Actually, that's what's right here. The thumbnails might change later on, but this is what I have. I think I call it the mother load of news. Okay, so that's what it's called, but the thumbnails might change. So I quickly put some, I think it's like 30 minutes, right? It doesn't say. It likes 30 minutes video. There's some humor in it. Yeah, 30 minutes. Okay, there's some humor in it, and then near the end there's some really serious issues that I read some tweet. So now I'm gonna cover some stuff here. There's a lot of things Byline Investigate seems to be has been putting out, but I didn't come across them until yesterday morning. So they don't put it like on a thread where everything is on one tweet. Is a collective of tweets that they did. So what I did here, what I'm gonna do, I do not want to lose it, but I'm on Byline Twitter page, and I'm gonna go over each and every of their posts. I'm gonna refrain myself from going into the comment section. Then I'm gonna lose track. So I'm just gonna read each of their caption. And this one, I'm all the way down. Okay, I'm gonna work my way up their pages, right? Do they have any more? Let's see here. You Grant talks. Okay, so let's start with that. Actually, I didn't even see this one. We're gonna start with this. Oh my god, there's so much more. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so we're gonna start here. March 2nd. I think some of these I've shared, but we're gonna start here for the sake of this video. Again, I'm gonna refrain myself from going in the comment section. I'm just gonna go through Byline, reading the caption, and this article I'm gonna read it. Every articles that Byline has, I'll try to read them. I already put the links. Okay, I set up the links already for you guys. Come on. Okay, these are the links right here. Alright, the court document, some of the articles that I came across, I already put them. So I'm gonna read these already because I already have them open. Okay, so there's that, and this is the court document. I don't think I'm gonna read the court documents. I've already put I believe 5 pages, page 7 up to let me see, up to 11 or 12 or something like that on my community board, and the links. You guys, if you want to read it, read it. So let's get started before I start talking too much. Okay, so Byline Investigate. Comment. Sunak government springs a surprise by turning a setback for Prince Harry into a setback for the Daily Mail. Brian Cape Cod. I remember reading this, but for the sake of this video, let's go. Let's do it. So there it is here. Brian Cape Cod, March 2nd, 2024. Okay. It was, the Daily Mail informed us last November, a significant victory for justice in the Mail and a major setback for Prince Harry. But now, with a few strokes of the pen, Rishi Sunak conservative government has turned that upside down. The government decision releases a wealth of documents relating to the use of private investigators for Prince Harry, Elton John, Baroness Lawrence, and others to deploy in their unprecedented legal case alleging hacking and unlawful information gathering by the Mail newspaper. This is, in some other videos, I've said when Harry won his phone hacking case, the judge, I'm paraphrasing now, the judge had told him he could file a lawsuit against the paper based on the Leveson inquiry. But if some of the information that he has based on the, regarding the Leveson inquiry, based on hearsay, what's the term for it? Leaking information, the court will not accept it. The only way the court will accept it if the government give them access to the Leveson inquiry, then the judge will, the court will accept it. So this is what's happening here. Okay, Rishi Sunak had given Harry permission to view the Leveson inquiry. Okay. The Mail Group, which desperately wanted these documents withheld, insisted that they were covered by confidentiality arrangement dating back to the 2011-2012 Leveson inquiry into the press, and in November, a judge upheld that argument. Okay? But the government had a right to waive that confidentiality, and yesterday, acting on request from the prince and the other complainants in the case, it did just that, turning that significant victory for the Mail into what might be called a victory for the prince. The news slipped out in a joint statement from Home Secretary Jim Cleverly and Culture Secretary Lucy Fraser that they do not consider that it is necessary in the public interest to withhold these documents. A separate official notice described the documents as ledger card from the Mail and the Mail on Sunday recording payments to private investigators. It is not difficult to see why they might be relevant to the case against the Mail Group, which denies all the claim against it. The development is noteworthy for two main reasons. The first is that it could accelerate the progress of a case that is nothing less than historic. While Rupert Murdoch's UK papers and Mirror newspapers owned by Rich plc have paid out billions to claimants in phone hacking litigation over the past dozen years, this is the first time the very powerful Mail Group has been sued, and the complainant could hardly be more high profile. The reality of the November ruling was that the decision in relation to the Leveson documents was never that important. Okay, the paper is making it seem like the Leveson, it's nothing, it's not that important, but it was. Okay, it's trying to play that reverse psychology on people. It was very important. Okay, the documents were, but it was inevitable that they will eventually have to be disclosed in the course of the legal process. This government decision simply makes it quicker. Okay, by Rishi Sunak giving Harry the, signing in and say, here, you could view it. Okay, if that's so, you might ask, why did the Mail claim such a big victory in November? That was just another act of deception perpetrated on its readers. Okay, the reverse psychology. The Mail knew exactly what the legal position was, but it also knew that it had been roundly defeated in every other aspect of its first attempt to have the case halted by the courts. The one thing that had gone its way was the ruling on the documents, so knowing full well it will make little difference, it elevates that to a significant victory for justice in the Mail. Okay? Oh, I thought it was done. The second noteworthy point about the government's decision is that it is surprising. The Sunak government is normally extremely friendly with, if not subservient to, the Mail organization, and it could easily have done nothing. Instead, it chose a course it knows must infuriate the company's editor-in-chief, Paul Dacker. Remember, this is the guy I believe weeks before the phone hacking was made, the ruling for Prince Harry and the rest. Okay, he wrote an open letter to was it King Charles, saying I believe they share the same birthday. I'll put the thumbnails of what I'm thinking, okay, because I shared it in one video. Okay, so where is it? Instead, it chose a course it knows must infuriate the company's editor-in-chief, Paul Dacker, and its proprietor, Lord Wathamer. That's the guy I have on the thumbnails with William talking to him. Okay? We may never know why. For the male group, the stakes could not be higher. Defeat in this case will not only be a terrible humiliation for the UK's most self-righteous and pompous newspaper company, it could also almost certainly expose that company to years of costly and damaging court action. Okay? So, this is the foundation of things after Harry has won the phone hacking case. Okay, so this sort of giving you an idea that Rishi Sunak has given Prince Harry and all the the claimants on the phone hacking case, they have access to the Leveson inquiry. Okay, so Rishi Sunak giving them. So now let's go back to Twitter. All right. Comment: Sunak government sprang a surprise by turning a setback for Prince Harry into a setback for the Daily Mail. Okay, so I'm done with this. Now let's go into that. This one is dated March 2nd as well. Same date as that. Now is a retweet of this. So I will not be going on any tweet that has that because I just went on it. This is the foundation of it. Okay. So this one is saying here, it was the Daily Mail informed us last November a significant victory for justice in the Mail and a major setback for Prince Harry. But now, with a few strokes of the pen, Rishi Sunak conservative government has turned that upside down. Okay, and let's go into that now. Again, I'm not going into that. It's a retweet. The government decision released a wealth of documents relating to the use of private investigators for Prince Harry, Elton John, Baroness Lawrence, and others to deploy in their unprecedented legal case alleging hacking and unlawful information gathering by the Mail newspaper. Again, I believe some of these are quote from the article. All right, so I'm just following it. The Mail Group, which desperately wanted this document withheld, insists that they were covered by confidentiality arrangement dating back to 2011 to 2012 Leveson inquiry into the press, and in November a judge upheld that argument. Okay, so what is it? The Mail, the newspaper, fought to keep those documents away from Harry, and they won that. However, after Harry won his phone hacking and the judge have said you could use, now you prove your case, you could do this, you could do that, but only if the government allowed you to see it, and then the government had given Harry the access to it. Okay, it seems like these are those captions are from the article. So with that being said, since I read the document, the article, every time I see this, I'm gonna skip it. Like this one, I'm gonna skip it because it seems like those captions are from the article. All right, I'm gonna skip that as well. Skip that, skip that, skip, because I have a. Okay, so now let's read this. What this is about. Okay, that's March 3rd. Had a lovely day in Malvern today. Okay, so this has nothing to do with what I'm focusing on. Okay, so there's that. I read it again. The second noteworthy point about the government decision is that it is surprising. Yeah, for giving Harry access, because the Tory government, danced with the newspaper. So this is why they're saying, okay, so let's skip all of this every time I see the pictures. Okay, so we're gonna start here probably. Okay, the Press Justice Project will support anyone affected by lies, intrusion, or other abuses in the newspaper or their website. Okay, so that's something different. Now we start here. All right. Rupert Murdoch Dodgy Dossier, the bombshell billion-pound legal document being used by Prince Harry, containing allegation of systemic crime at the Sun and News of the World. Okay, so let's click this. Since I didn't read that article, let's read it, and then anything that has his picture we're gonna skip. And I think I did on yesterday's video. How big is it? It's not that long at all. So it is dated back March 16. Rupert Murdoch's Dodgy Dossier, the bombshell billion-pound legal documents being used by Prince Harry containing allegations of systemic crime at The Sun and the News of the World. The news group newspapers deny or do not admit the 100 of alleged crimes contained in the explosive 127-page file, but lawyers for Prince Harry claim they have the evidence to back up the allegation. I mean, what did you expect from the newspaper? You're gonna say, "Oh, I'm guilty," automatically? They're gonna make you work to prove them. They know what they did. Okay, so by Graham Johnson, Byline Investigate is today published. Okay, the document claims that editors and senior executive went on a 20-year crime spree in Fleet Street by hacking phones and commissioning private investigators on an industrial scale. However, the most serious allegation is that the corporation's controlling minds embark on an epic cover-up by concealing the wrongdoing, destroying evidence en masse. This is not surprising. Okay, destroying evidence en masse to cover their tracks and then covering up the cover-up. Lawyers for news group newspapers do not admit most of the allegations and outright deny the rest. The claims have never been tested at trial because Murdoch's company has settled every case that has ever come to court. So far, the strategy has prevented a high court judge from making findings either way. However, the out-of-court settlement have come at a high price. Experts estimate that the hacking litigation at just under 20 years on the longest running legal disputes in history has cost Murdoch around £1.2 billion. But if you weren't guilty, why would you spend that much to prevent it from going to trial? Wow. Next week on Wednesday, March 20th, which was yesterday, lawyers for victims of unlawful information gathering, including Prince Harry, will seek to add further explosive allegation into the mix. The document is officially known by its legal title, the amended generic particulars of concealment and destruction, June 2020. So that's the name of the document. And I think it's this one. Okay, so that's that. I have it. There's 20 pages. 21 pages, actually. What did he say it calls? And the High Court, okay, Annex Re-Amendment, Generic Particular of Concealment and Destruction. What did he say here? Yep, destruction. So that was that. So that's this. The link of that will be in the description. You guys could read it. There's a possibility I may not read all of it, or I may not even read at all. Okay, but sources have likened the allegation to a crime novel in which the twist read like a mafia story. My goodness. Read full document. The amended generic particular concealment destruction, June 20. Okay, so that's that one, right? Let me open it and see if it's the same thing. No, it is different. I'll leave the link. How many pages? Oh, definitely. I'm not going to read that. What? 127 pages. Okay, so let's see the last page here. What page is that? 3. Summary of claims case. Okay, at all material times throughout the relevant period, namely from at least, okay, about 1996 onward, NGN was the publisher of The Sun and the News of the World, national tabloid newspapers with an enormous circulation and readership within this jurisdiction, both in their hard copy form and through the publication of their content online at the URL newsoftheworld.com and thesun.co.uk. In July 2011, shortly before the commencement of the Leveson inquiry, the News of the World was closed down. So that's a small little history. Okay, its replacement, The Sun on Sunday, was launched shortly afterward at the beginning of 2012. They just changed the name and then the same players remain. Yeah, that's what they did. Okay, 2, the claimant case is that the use of voicemail interception, blagging, and or other unlawful obtaining of private information, including through the engagement of private investigators by or on behalf of journalists, was both habitual and widespread from at least as early as, okay, so they crossed 1998 out, they said 1996, it went further down, onward at both the Sun and the News of the World, and that this was well known to and approved by senior executive, editorial staff, journalists, senior NGN employees within NGN. Oh my God. I say I'm not going to read it, but I was like, let me just read that one. But it's very interesting. That's giving you a background of it. Further, but I'm not going to read 127. But the link will be in the description. Further, these senior NGN employees took deliberate steps to lie about, conceal, and destroy evidence of these habitual and widespread practices in order to avoid the true nature, scale, and extent of such activities being revealed and or the subject of legal proceedings. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking, I think Charles took a step back. I don't know, okay? If he actually is sick, there's no way he'll be able to deal this, because this guy is very weak. Because this is the nonsense he was putting in his son's head, that this is a suicidal kind of thing. You don't fight these people. So he can handle it.
Because my father used to say to me when I was younger, he used to say to both William and I, well, it was like that for me, so it's going to be like that for you. That doesn't make sense. Just because you suffered, that doesn't mean that your kids have to suffer. In fact, quite the opposite. If you suffered, do everything you can to make sure that whatever experiences negative experiences that you had, that you can make it right for your kids. We chose to put our mental health first. That's what we're doing, and that's what we will continue to do. Isn't this all about breaking the cycle? Isn't this all about making sure that history doesn't repeat itself? That whatever pain and suffering has happened to you, that you don't pass on?
Whatever promise he had given, the papers or whatever, he can't keep it because, what is it? Only one of his son is following through and the other one is fighting them. There's no way. He knew all of these were gonna come out. So he had to step back. Oh my Lord. And then you see the papers making the other brother dance like a fool. 1 minute they put the paper, the video out, like he's out with his wife, whatever he did. I mean, he has no boundaries, no control of anything, but they're holding him against the nonsense that he's doing. He must have a secret, but the paper's making him dance. Okay? They released the video pretending, okay, yeah, that's Kate, that's Kate. And then he gave the okay for the, is it BBC or something like that? Go to that video. The what did I call it? Is this video, but the thumbnails might change. The mother load of news, okay, that, but the thing might change. But and then after TMZ put the video out, confirmed that skate and all of that, and then he, I guess, in my humble opinion, he allowed BBC to confirm, yes, this is Kate. And then TMZ went back and said, when we look at it a little bit more, I don't think it's Kate. It looked like someone else. There it is. He already confirmed it was. They're making him dance like a fool. Okay? And Charles take a step back because he won't be able to handle it. And there's Harry there fighting them. You could see the difference between the brothers. Oh my Lord. That... Charles must be sick to his stomach. I told you, when Harry drove over there, flew to the UK, and he had all the security escort and everything like that. I think that was for that. It's not because Charles was sick. I think Charles was telling Harry, can you please remove that case and don't let the judge... give the whatever, the finding, the ruling and all of that. And Harry was like, no, it's gonna go forward. And then you have all of this. I think that's what it was. I'm sorry. if he actually is sick, okay, my disclaimer, my apology, because these people lie. They lie too much. I don't trust their words. You could see the nonsense. AP have said about Kensington Palace. They don't trust them. They compare them with North Korea or Iran or something like that. Okay, you have TMZ, saying no, that's not Kate and everything, and then you have the brother already confirm it was Kate. Okay, I don't trust these people. Their words don't mean anything. So them saying that he is sick, he has cancer and all that. Okay, if he does, my apology for that, for not trusting their word. But I truly, down deep inside, I don't think he has it, because he can handle this. Okay, let's read some more. These steps are outlined below in this composite document, which draws together material from the claimant's case on concealment as previously set out in the re-amended generic particulars of claim for Operation Pine Tree and the Sun claims, and the amended and re-amended generic particulars of claim for Operation Reading Claims, collectively referred to as, quote, the claimant's generic pleadings, along with documents and information which has been revealed so far by way of generic disclosure provided by NGN under order of the court. The claimants expressly reserve the right to amend or added to these particulars in light of the further disclosure and or further information which NGN is required to provide. Okay, I believe the Levison inquiry and all of that, okay, under court orders. However, the summary purposes, these steps are outlined as follows. Okay, so there's more. There's a lot more. Okay, I'm telling you, these judge, no wonder why they're expensive. This is a lot of money to put together, to gather all of these information. Okay, so this is where I stop. The link will be in the description. I will also, let me pause and put it on my community board for you guys. So there have been 7 people already seen the post, but I'm probably gonna have to create another post to put this. But anyway, let's go back. Okay, I'm done with this because it's 100-something pages. Let's go back to Twitter. Okay, so we have an idea of this. I read that document. I think it was this one, the Rishi Sunak, and then that. And Byline Investigate, right? Okay, so let's see. Byline Investigates is today publishing the legal papers which threaten to bring down Rupert Murdoch's British newspaper empire. Okay, news group newspaper deny or do not admit the hundreds of alleged crimes contained in the explosive 127-page file, but lawyers for Prince Harry claim they have the evidence to back up the allegation. Okay, so that's the things that I just read. Alright, so there's that. I read this breaking in a bombshell hearing at High Court. So that was today, right? Did I read this? I don't. Wait. Let's go back. By Graham. There's this. Byline Investigate. Is that the same thing? Did I read that? Let me pause again. Okay. I think I read it on yesterday's video, but not for this. So I had it open. So this one we're gonna read. Okay. And then anything that has his pictures as retweet, we're not gonna read it because I think they take portion from the article. Okay, Rupert Murdoch's Dodgy Dossier, the bombshell billion-pound legal document being used by Prince Harry containing allegation of systemic crimes at the Sun and the News of the World. Okay, March 16, 2024. News group newspaper deny or do not admit the hundred of alleged crimes contained in the explosive. Did I just read that? Let's see here. This and then Sunak. Maybe I did not. I don't know. Am I confusing myself? Let's see here. The document claims that editors and senior executives went on a 20-year crime spree in Fleet Street by hacking phones and commissioning private investigators on an industrial scale. However, the most serious allegation is that the corporation controlling minds embarked on an epic cover-up by concealing the wrongdoing, destroying evidence en masse. Yeah, I think I read that. Where is my memory all of a sudden? Lawyers for for news group newspapers do not admit most of the allegation and outright deny the rest. The claims have never been tested at trial because Murdoch Company has settled every case that has ever come to court. Yeah, 1.2 billion, and I click on that. Yeah, I read that. Okay, so anything with that, we're gonna skip. All right, the link will be in the description. We're gonna skip this. So now we skip. So pretty much that was that. If I read the article, I don't need to read the caption. I thought they were somewhat different, right? December 15, while we have your eyes. Okay, 17, Rupert Bernard as long. And a long list of his executives have been named for allegedly being dishonest allegation which his company objects to. So there's the thing here. Bombshell court. Breaking news. Former News of the World chief reporter Neville. Okay, some of those captions may be different. Okay, some of the captions are different. So let's go back slightly. Okay, I almost messed up. Okay, so we're gonna read those captions because there's no article for these. Okay, they just use the picture. See, when I click on it, there's no, okay, it's just an image. Okay, so we're going back. We want to focus, actually I want to focus on the captions. Okay, breaking. In a bombshell hearing at the High Court, Prince Harry's lawyer has just referred to a document called the PI Annex, which is a long list of private investigators, the vast majority allegedly unlawful, who were tasked by Rupert Murdoch's paper. Okay, so there's no article on that one. So we're gonna read the how do you call this? The caption. And 18 hours ago. So these are some of the things I think I read on my previous video. Okay, so now they're retweeting the same image here. This is the beginning of it, so he keep on retweeting it. Okay, this one, breaking in a bombshell, breaking, and he's retweeting that with new caption. Okay, I hope you understand. Breaking, Rupert Murdoch is named for the first time in the 20-year-long phone hacking litigation against his newspapers, The Sun and the News of the World, for allegedly knowing about criminality since at least 2009 and allegedly covering it up. Okay, so now, in this aspect, when we look at the Dominion, completely different story here, completely different litigation, case, and country, completely different. However, one similarity here is Rupert Murdoch. And under Dominion, they had deposed him. And he was aware of the things that was going on Fox News. Okay, the lies, deception about the 2020 election. So that alone, if he said he had no knowledge, okay, based on the deposition in the US, I don't know how it will leverage in the UK, because two different countries, two different litigation, is just that the same actor, you know, running similar business in both countries, and the same thing that the lies, deception, okay, is carrying on both countries. So I really do not know how Harry's lawyer will use what happened in the US and the UK, because when I look, for instance, in the Johnny Depp case, where Johnny Depp lost in the UK but won in the US, and they use some evidence in the UK system.
I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me, or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing, or my intention to do so, from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted. From some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
TMZ is the same outlet that you released the video of Mr. Depp attacking the kitchen cabinets the day before this deposition was taken, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I don't
TMZ
know how
owns
to do
the
that.
copyright to that video now, doesn't it?
In the US. Okay? So this is where my specialty, my humble opinion is like, I don't have any opinion on that, but I could only highlight some of the things that I saw happen. Okay? Breaking Rupert Murdoch is named for the first time in 20 years. Did I read that? Alleged cover up. Okay? So let's go to the next one. Breaking the judge, Justice Fancourt, has just asked why Rupert Murdoch's name has been added to the court documents for the first time. That's very interesting. Alright, so let's see. So maybe this guy was in the court and he was tweeting as he was hearing the things. Okay, breaking. Prince Harry's lawyer David Sherborne said that although Rupert Murdoch has been referred to before, he is now being named. Very interesting. They referred to him before, but now he's part of the defendant. Okay, private investigator Gavin Burrows, who allegedly carried out unlawful information gathering for The Sun and News of the World, has just been named in the High Court in Prince Harry's case. Oh my goodness.
Hello, I've got Dano with me again to talk about the work he did finding information, some of it illegal, for the British tabloid. First of all, tell me about databases.
Back in the 80s, early 80s, there were several companies. One of them was called Nexus Lexus. The other one was Choice Point. But the most efficient one is one called TLO. As they developed, they would gather more and more information, private information on people, and there were no rules. There were no laws saying who you could give that to. Then suddenly the federal government started realizing, well, you guys are selling private information. And they passed a law called the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. But they left an opening, and the opening was private investigators. The news media could get limited access. Well, as a private investigator, I could get complete access, but then sell it to the news media illegally.
Right.
I had no idea that they were going to use the data illegally to pose as you, to pretend to be you.
Because I noticed, for
steal your
example,
identity.
at one point, somebody wanted my social security number, and I thought, well, what are they going to do with it? But they do what in England we call blagging. They then ring up pretending
To be you.
to be me and asking a banker or some medical person for confidential information, which they then give because they think they're giving it to me.
In the United States, we have a law that protects all medical information. It's like a felony to, obtain it illegally.
Yeah, we have one too.
I
I'm
wasn't-
particularly interested in the UK. I mean, the papers would ring you up and say, "Get me something on X."
Well, basically, they didn't want me to get specific information. They wanted me to give them the identifiers that allowed their people to get do that blagging.
So the blagging was a separate operation that was started off by the information you were able to give.
Right. I would give them the information of what we would refer to as the keys to the kingdom.
The Sun hired an American private investigator to obtain personal and private data on Meghan Markle and her father, Thomas Markle. The PI then sold illegally obtained data to the Sun, though the paper denies knowing that it was gotten illegally. The Sun immediately tasked notorious Los Angeles-based PI Dan Dano Hanks to mine Meghan's data after news broke in October 2016 that she was seeing Prince Harry. Hanks obtained her social security number by deception, a criminal offence in the US as it is in the UK. Hanks also stole the data of Meghan's half-brother, her mother Doria Ragland, her ex-husband and two rumoured former boyfriends. The same day, a secret dossier with this ill-gotten information and Meghan's mobile phone numbers and addresses was emailed by Hanks to his handler James Beale, the US editor of The Sun. Byline Investigator has seen an invoice for $2,000 for the work sent by Hanks to The Sun's London HQ and a remittance advice note proving that he was paid at least $750 for the information on 11 members of Meghan's family and friends. In his exclusive interview, Hanks described Meghan's social security number as a key identifier beyond the reach of legal searches, which would enable other PIs to dig deeper into confidential records, opening up all the other private data held on US government and state databases. The Vietnam veteran drove to the LA houses of Meghan and her father to photograph the properties so that The Sun could commission specialist reporters and photographers to mount a stakeout of each. The very next day, James Beale, along with the paper's then royal correspondent Emily Andrews, wrote the first story about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry ever to appear in The Sun. The story contained the first fruits of Hanks' dossier, as The Sun had obtained a quote from Meghan's niece Ashley Friedman, whose contact details were among the data that Hanks had sold. The Sun has never admitted ever having illegally obtained such information from any private investigator and denies doing so in 2016 to Meghan and Harry. Click the links to parts 1, 2 and 3 of our story.
Download this. What is that? Is it something that I already have? Let's see here. How many page? 21. I think I read that. I think it's this one, 21. Yep, I have it already. The link is in the description already. Alright, so let's go back. There's more. Download legal documents which allege systemic unlawful information gathering at The Sun and News of the World. Okay, the link is in the description. There's more of that. Okay, what else? Breaking: the current editor of The Sun, Victoria Newton, has just been named in Prince Harry's High Court case for allegedly unlawful information gathering. So there's that. Breaking: the current CEO of News UK, Rebecca Brooks. That's another one, because remember in the Leveson inquiry, I believe they stopped while they were asking her question and they were supposed to return back. And that never continues for the Leveson inquiry. Alright, so Harry's adding her. Oh my goodness. The current CEO of News UK, Rebecca Brooks, has just been named in court for alleged unlawful information gathering and covering it up, allegation which her company denies or does not admit. I mean, what do you expect? You think they're gonna say, I did that? Okay, next one. Breaking: former News of the World chief reporter Neville Thurbeck was allegedly told by his bosses Neil Wallace, Andy Coulson, and Stuart Kuttner to destroy his computer after hacking the Home Secretary, David Blankett's phone. What in the name? Destroy his computer. Former News of the World chief reporter Neville Thurbeck was allegedly told by his bosses. Okay, so they're naming names: Neil Wallace, Andy Coulson, and Stuart Kuttner to destroy his computer after hacking the Home Secretary David Blankett's phone. Wow. Is it that guy who was asking Rebecca Brooks question and then later on, they stop it and later on what they did, they outed him or something? Let me see. Let me pause for a second. No, that's not the person that I was thinking of. In terms of age, I'm not sure, but the one that I was thinking of, I think it's much younger. So let's go back. Alright, David Blankett. So the one that I was thinking of, that's not him. Okay, so let's continue. Right. Breaking: Rupert Murdoch and a long list of his executives have been named for allegedly being dishonest, an allegation which his company object to. Okay, so there's that while we are here. Okay, so that's something else. Breaking: Bill Ackes, who was an editor of the News of the World and now works for the Daily Mail, was right at the top of Rupert Murdoch's corporate structure when he was allegedly aware of criminality and unlawful information gathering, the court has heard. Okay. Breaking. Sir William John Lewis, who served as the publisher and chief executive officer of the Washington Post, has just been named in court for allegedly covering up phone hacking for his former employer, Rupert Murdoch. Washington Post. Is that, I think it's owned by Rupert Murdoch, right? Let's pause again and look that up. Oh, is it New York Post? Okay, Jeff Bezos. When did he buy it? Okay, so that's a different story. So that's Jeff Bezos. Never mind. Okay, so that's him. I remember reading some things not too long ago about this person, I think. But anyway, let's continue. The lawyers for Rupert Murdoch's British newspaper company, NGN, Anthony Hudson KC, is now on his feet. His job is to defend NGN from the attacks by the claimants this morning. Okay. Mr. Hudson suggests that the claimants using the litigation to run a political campaign against the tabloid press. Who? Mr. Hudson suggests the claimants. The claimants are who? Harry and the rest? A political campaign? Are they running for office? Where did he come? Okay, I probably misunderstood this, but let's move on. Breaking. NGN states that the legal documents being scrutinized in court today look like a book or a screenplay about the twists and turns of the phone hacking scandal. What? What? A lawyer saying that? After they get the things from the government, the Leveson inquiry and all of that, state that the legal documents being scrutinized in court today look like a book or a screenplay about the twists and turns of phone hacking scandal. Okay. Let's move on. Mr. Houston for NGN then quoted paragraphs from his story that, was it Byline Investigate? Published on Saturday. So what is that? Okay, so that's this one. So he took something from this article. All right, I have that in the link in the description. Okay, in a bid to prevent the legal documents from being amended, Mr. He doesn't want it to be amended. Why? Because, oh my God, because now they have the Leveson inquiry. So what they wanted to do, I understand. Okay, now that the Prime Minister gave the phone, Harry and the rest, to look at the, how do you call this? To look at the Leveson inquiry. Why keep on? It's taking me a long time to remember the Leveson inquiry. So now that Harry and the rest have access to the Leveson inquiry, now they want to amend what they had to insert new information. So now what their lawyer preventing from inserting the new information they got from the Leveson inquiry. That's what it is. Okay? And there's a part, well, if that current judge who's looking over that said no, they cannot amend it, so you know there's something wrong going on. Because after Harry won his case from the phone hacking, the judge had said he cannot put anything about the Leveson inquiry. It's if it's from leak information from the Leveson inquiry. However, if the government give him access to it, then the court will accept it. So the judge, whoever is presiding over this case, must accept it because the Prime Minister gave Harry access to it. So I can understand why Rupert Murdoch's lawyer is saying that. I mean, obviously, he has to protect his client to prevent more information. So the court, based on what was said after the phone hacking one, that judge must accept it. They must accept it. They gave Harry a barrier that about he cannot proceed with leaks. So that wasn't leaks. It was physical document that was handed to him by the government. So the court must accept it. Okay? In a bid to prevent the legal documents from being amended, Mr. Anthony Hudson Casey for NGN argues the application is too late and disproportionate and makes the point that the litigation has been going on for 18 years. Let's see. Okay, breaking, Anthony Hudson Casey says that aggravated damages, which claimants say has come about because of alleged cover-up, is not a generic issue. Yeah, you see, all key players are preventing things from moving forward. Now that they have something to move forward, they have to proceed. Breaking, Anthony Hudson Casey said, the big legal document at the center of today's hearing is very difficult to understand. Nah, it's not very difficult to understand. Well, if you have issue with that, you should not be in the process of it. I mean, sometimes they have to play dumb, but he knows exactly what's going on. The same way they were trying to do the reverse psychology on the people that I read earlier. You know, that the Leveson inquiry is not that important, but Brian Cape Cod said, yeah, it was very important. All right, so they're playing dumb right now. Breaking, Anthony Hudson Casey for NGN says that the legal document does not specifically state that there are criminal allegations about Rupert Murdoch and no reference to his son, Lachlan Murdoch. Yeah, he's protecting him. But I think based on what happened with, how do you call this? What happened in the state? Okay, like I said, two different cases, but I think it plays heavily on what happened in UK because Rupert Murdoch had admitted he was aware what was going on in Fox News. So he knows what's going on in his newspapers. Okay? So this is why I was saying what happened in the States is very important. Okay? Washington Post publisher and CEO Will Lewis has been named today in court for alleged role in covering up Murdoch UK tabloid scandal while an executive there by attorney for Prince Harry, this per Byline Investigative. This echoes NPR's earlier reporting. Did I read this? This is new. Let's go into that. This is something different. Sir William Lewis, who served as the publisher and chief executive officer of the Washington Post, has just been named in court for allegedly covering up phone hacking for his former employer Rupert Murdoch. Okay, so I read that already. So that's a retweet of previous one. Okay, so let's continue. Breaking, NGN lawyers says that there is no proper basis for naming Rupert Murdoch in legal papers, and the allegation are based on ancient documents which have been around in this litigation for 10 years. Okay, so let's see here. Now, for the first time, Rupert Murdoch alleged by Harry's attorney to personally have had knowledge of hacking scandals since 2009 and the subsequent cover-up. Byline Investigates is posting updates on court proceedings. So that's what this is all about. It's court proceedings. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a thread and put all of this for the squad. Okay, so I think this is it. Worth following at Byline for updates on serious allegation being made in court about senior Murdoch editors and executive over next 3 days. Okay, the current CEO of News UK, Rebecca Brooks, has just been named in court for alleged unlawful information. So I read that already. Okay, breaking, David Sherborne says that the claimant received disclosure around August 2020, including an email from PR guru and Murdoch family-in-law Matthew Feud to then News International CEO Rebecca Brooks and vice versa. Okay, the email dated January 2011, right in the middle of the phone hacking scandal, was about Rupert Murdoch lending his plan to Brooks so that she could go to Davos, the elite World Economic Forum, to make a speech which his son James Murdoch wanted her to make. Okay, all right. Oh, I thought that was it. So there's more. However, Sherborne also claimed that the email referred to executive Will Lewis and Simon Greenberg, who had allegedly come up with the strategy to destroy emails. Okay, the News International exec were seeking approval from Rupert Murdoch, according to Sherborne, to pursue concealment and destruction of evidence and and a deliberate strategy to thwart the police investigation, NGN deny or do not admit wrongdoing. Okay, David Sherborne for the claimants has told the court that News International bosses allegedly set out to disrupt MPs who were calling for investigation into the phone hacking scandal. Yeah, like the investigation, Levison inquiry too. This is something different. Okay, while we're here. Okay, so we up to date. I went through their page to read. So what this, whoever was tweeting this, they didn't create a thread. So each time they just put it out. So I went through it and read what I'm aware of. Okay, so now we're up to date. So I think I should stop now. I'm 50 minutes into it. I read a couple articles and some, what else did I have here? Let me pause. So what I just did here, I had put these two from Byline, but I read a whole bunch. So all of these were already part of it. And I have things about Prince Harry. Let's squeeze, you know what? Let's stop here. This is a video by itself, and then I'll do the next because there's some other videos. Okay, so that's it. Let's go on. Let's close off. That's all. Okay, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. And I'll do another video where I talk about, let's see what we're gonna start next. Okay, we're gonna start with this. Prince Harry what? Okay, so we're gonna start with that, and then there's some other things related, okay, with the phone hacking and all. Let me see something. Let me see something. This is Prince William. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna add these, okay, because they have to do with Harry and things like that. So it's not that much.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better